You're listening to Vaquero News.
Welcome back, Vaqueros. We are coming to you live from the Bronzo studio. It is 9 a.m. Monday, January 11th, 2021. We hope you all had a safe and restful winter break. Starting off the newscast, reporter Justin Elizalde tells us about preliminary enrollment numbers at UTRGV.
A UTRGV enrollment report shows a preliminary 29,973 students have enrolled for classes as of last Friday, up more than 3% from last year. This number includes enrollment in the School of Medicine and both undergraduate and graduate programs. The report, accessible through the Strategic Enrollment website, shows an increase by at least 5% for sophomore and senior level students, respectively, and a more than 2% increase in junior level students, but a decrease by at least 6% in freshman level students. Senior Vice President for Strategic Enrollment and Student Affairs, Maggie Hinojosa, explains that the numbers are based on credit hours, not years in school, and that many students who enter have some sort of dual credit.
60% of our freshman class comes with some sort of dual credit.
Hinojosa explains why there is a drop in spring enrollment from the fall semester.
So there are not high schools that really graduate a significant number of students in the fall.
Hinojosa says it's an entire university effort to grow enrollment.
Student success plays a huge role. Academic affairs and health affairs, or faculty or deans. Enrollment is everybody's role.
A larger increase came in the graduate college, up more than 48% from last spring. Executive Vice President for Research, Graduate Studies, and New Program Development, Parwinder Graywall, says there are multiple factors such as new graduate programs, scholarships, and COVID-19 relief assistance that have contributed to enrollment growth.
Many people have lost jobs, right? Because of that, most people use that time to enroll into graduate programs, something that they always wanted to do and something that they think that they can get a better job with.
The spring semester starts today, and an official census will happen on Wednesday, January 27th. For Vaquero News, I'm Justin Elizalde.
UTRGV welcomes students back with its annual Week of Welcome celebration. Reporter Rodolfo Alvarado tells us about events happening this week.
UTRGV is ready to greet new and returning students with virtual events as the 6th annual Week of Welcome draws near, along with the spring 2021 semester starting today through Friday. Assistant Director for Student Activities Lauren Contreras explains what the Week of Welcome is.
So Week of Welcome is kind of our sister event to Best Week Ever. It is the first week of school, and it's our way of welcoming students back for the spring semester and welcoming those who are new to our university.
According to Contreras, the Week of Welcome will have events such as info depots virtually starting at 3 p.m. today and at the same time on Tuesday. Students can learn about how they can get involved with university organizations and events. Student Activities will host the Survey Game Show starting at 6 p.m. Tuesday, where participants will play in the style of Family Feud to win different prizes. The Civic Engagement Alliance will be hosting their own virtual info depots at 5 p.m. Tuesday and 3 p.m. Wednesday. According to President of the Civic Engagement Alliance, Michael White, the organization uses these info depots as a way to explain their goals to students on campus.
What we would do is inform students of the civic engagement opportunities by bringing in the mission statement of how CA, the nonpartisan student organization, aims to promote civic life on campus and create a more politically aware community through educational events.
Students such as psychology freshman Adeline Nieto says it is nice to know that UTRGV still continues its traditional events amidst the pandemic.
I like knowing that the school does little things for the students to raise morale. It lets students, they get to go along, they make new friends, understand how some groups work, maybe they want to get into that group.
Visit the Student Activities website for the complete list of events. This is Rodolfo Alvarado for Vaquero News.
Justin Elizalde helps us understand the upcoming Texas legislative session that will run from Tuesday to May 31st.
The 87th Texas legislature will meet at the state's capital Tuesday at noon to begin their 140 days of lawmaking. This year will likely be different as the coronavirus pandemic has not only altered social distance guidelines, but also affected the economy of the state, signaling budget cuts. UTRGV Vice President of Governmental and Community Relations, Veronica Gonzalez, explains why a state budget might look different this year.
Frankly, with the pandemic and with oil and gas going down, the budget is going to be constrained, and we are expecting that there's going to be less money, and you got a lot of hands or a lot of mouths and a smaller pie.
Gonzalez says while UTRGV is not allowed to lobby legislators, they are allowed to inform and educate on the priorities the university has before a final budget is set.
The things that are so important to us are things like our financial aid and work study, tuition, what we call tuition revenue bonds. It's funding to help us build buildings.
The Texas legislature only meets once every odd year. Professor of Political Science Clyde Barrow explains why.
The short answer is because it's written into the Constitution. It was purposely an effort to limit the capacity of state government to govern.
Legislators will have 140 days to pass bills filed in both the House and the Senate into law. Barrow says only a few of thousands of bills filed are considered. He says as of now, it's too early in the session to keep a track of any significant bills. Barrow says appropriations or funds for a specific purpose come from the state budget to cover operating expenses at UTRGV, such as faculty and staff salaries, among other things.
It, of course, funds things like department operating budgets, which would be the photocopiers, office supplies, new computers.
This is a first in our series covering the Texas legislature. For more on legislative news, visit utrgvradio.com. For Vaquero News, I'm Justin Elizalde.
And McClain goes up and throws down a monster dunk. That fires up the UTRGV Fieldhouse.
And now time for Vaquero Sports.
UTRGV men's basketball faced against St. Mary's Rattlers last Thursday. Sports reporter Luis Rubio brings us the highlights of the game.
Off the bench, junior guard Laquan Butler scored a career-high 20 points to lead UTRGV men's basketball to a 96-67 victory over St. Mary's last Thursday at the UTRGV Fieldhouse. UTRGV in the first half quickly took control of the game by jumping out to a double-digit lead 22-11. Coming out from halftime, UTRGV led 44-28, and in the first 2 minutes of the second half increased their lead to 20. St. Mary's answered back with a 12-2 run to cut the lead to 12, aided by a pair of three-pointers from sophomore forward Tyler Caron and junior forward Mamede Jakiti, as both ended with 18 and 10 points respectively. The Vaqueros then promptly responded with a 33-10 run where 9 different players found the basket to extend their lead to a game-high 35 points en route to scoring a season-high 96 points. Butler shot 8 for 11 from the field and 4 for 6 from deep to go along with 4 rebounds and 2 assists. During the post-game interview via Zoom, he said his success came after a productive week in practice and playing within the system.
I was just taking the shots that came to me. I wasn't trying to force anything. Let my teammates set me up. So we've been working on that all week in practice, me and the coaches, me and Crandall specifically, taking more simple shots.
After the game, head coach Lou Hill said he was proud of his team's offensive performance after an extended break, but still sees room for improvement with WAC conference play around the corner.
We did a wonderful job. Like I said, I thought we played a really good game. All around. Only thing, we coaches, right? I nitpick. So only thing that I didn't like that we just sent them to the free throw line. I love the way we shared the ball. Love the way we rebounded. Love the way we shot it. We played a really good game.
Graduate transfer forward Jeff O'Cherry made his debut for UTRGV, coming back from an injury. The 2018-19 America East Conference Defensive Player of the Year scored 7 points, corralled 5 boards, and blocked 4 shots in 12 minutes. The Vaqueros' next opponent will be a doubleheader against new WAC member Dixie State at 6 p.m. on January 15th and 16th at the UTRGV Fieldhouse. For Vaquero Radio, I'm Luis Rubio.
And now for this week's weather report. Today, Bronzeville will be partly sunny with a high near of 53 degrees and a low of 43 degrees. In Edinburgh, we should be expecting similar weather, mostly sunny with a high near of 54 degrees and a low of around 40 degrees. Throughout the week, the Rio Grande Valley should feel cool, but will start warming up by Friday. Bronzeville and Edinburgh will be mostly sunny with a high near of 75 degrees on Friday. And that's it for your weekly weather report. Stay tuned for campus events.
And now for this week's event calendar.
Student Activities and the Student Union is hosting the Back to School Game Show with 3-time winning College Comedian of the Year, Jay Black, via Twitch. The game show consists of 4 lightning rounds of trivia with prizes each round. RSVP unveiling to sign up. Also, remember, Vaqueros, UTRGV has extended the online registration period for students to add classes in Assist for the spring 2021 term. The last day for students to add classes is now until Sunday, January 17th, as opposed to Thursday, January 14th. And that's it for the first newscast of the semester. If you have any story ideas, send us an email to radio@utrgv.edu. Vaquero Radio is also mobile with the Radio FX app available for Android and Apple. Also, follow us on our social media platforms and visit our website for updates and much more. We also want to remind our listeners that we will not have a newscast next Monday, January 18th. We will be back with our regular broadcast on January 25th. We will see you next Monday at 9 a.m. here on Vaquero Radio.
This has been Vaquero News.